This whole thing just stinks. The whole idea that the FBI director, weeks before they've interviewed what ended up being 16 or 17 other witnesses, that he was actually drafting this thing, changing the words, moving away from gross negligence, which is actually in the statute, and then claiming that they couldn't prove intent when, as Judge Napolitano pointed out, the statute doesn't require you to prove intent. You just have to be grossly negligent in what you're doing. But to be even drafting, can you imagine if a judge was drafting the how he was going to rule before he heard 16 people who had come up to the witness stand? That person would be disbarred. They'd be fired. They'd probably be, just kicked out. We would probably have hearings.
Only if it got out.
But this did get out. And that's why Chairman Grassley and Senator Graham are doing a great service. And this is why you do oversight. This is why the legislative branch oversees the executive branch, because it should be unified on both sides of the aisle. But this is an FBI director gone wild. And he did not do what he was supposed to do. The very fact that he was drafting it ahead of time is just so wrong.
I have a question for you, Jessica. And, I don't know that we can turn back time and use our crystal ball, but there may be some evidence to this just based on how former President Barack Obama behaved. Do you think, had he known that this was going on, that he would have weighed in on this and we would have seen a correction of course?
If President Obama had known that
he was backing Hillary Clinton, and
I don't think that President Obama would have tampered in what was going on with the FBI. I think that he has the utmost respect for the FBI. I mean, this is the constitutional law professor.
Do you think he knew something on that Sunday night with 60 Minutes when he said that there was no way that she would ever be guilty of anything?
I don't think that. And I've also read analyses that show that drafting earlier memos is quite common. You can read this all over the place. Now, there are 3 people who could have changed that, according to what I've read. That's not just James Comey. There are 2 other people, and I personally have no problem with Chuck Grassley and Senator Graham looking further into this. What I have a problem with is this total tilt as if Hillary Clinton is the only person who did anything wrong, and we're ignoring Bob Mueller. What do we have, 9 people who had communications with Russians?
Well, we're not, but there's a billion different investigations, including a special that is being heavily litigated.
Care about Hillary.
Do you honestly think that is not being litigated enough in Congress or in the media? That is literally all the mainstream media talks about.
No.
I think the bigger problem here and the concern for a lot of Americans is the fact that you do have statements from President Obama basically saying that she didn't put our national security at risk. We also know that the Obama administration was keeping tabs on the incoming Trump administration as well. They've spied on journalists. They've spied on Dianne Feinstein. So, I think the idea that somehow this is outside of something that the Obama administration would do, or even James Comey,
you think President Obama did this?
I don't know. I think that it's important to get
it.
I don't know, Jessica. I think it's important to get to the bottom of it. But then you also have the fact.
What we know, and we know that the language was changed from what he wrote to what he said that day, which Harris just showed us. Grossly negligent to extremely careless. Judge Napolitano says there's actually no legal difference in that language. Both are punishable as crimes with the result of prison time. So can they move forward with what they know and what they have today?
Remember, there is not just Hillary Clinton. There were up to 300 people that were dealing in classified information in a non-secure setting. And the fundamental problem is the State Department still has an open investigation and they haven't closed that.
I get it. We're talking about it. We don't know what's going to happen with it. Judge says when asked, is it too late to impanel a grand jury? He said, no, that can still happen. Does it go there?
Look, there's new evidence. And of course, I do think there should be a special prosecutor to go in and look at this. Michael Horowitz, who's the Inspector General, you never hear a leak out of them. They have 450 employees at the Department of Justice working for the Inspector General, and they are looking at that. But I do think a special prosecutor is warranted in this, not just for Hillary Clinton, but all the other garbage that's happened along with this.
A real quick last one.
Well, I was going to say, and you layer in the tarmac meeting with Loretta Lynch, Bill Clinton as well, the fact that James Comey took her instruction to call it a matter instead of an investigation. There's just a lot of questions we still don't have answers to.
What about President Trump applying pressure to Jim Comey that he wanted him to drop the Russia stuff?
Because Comey had told him multiple times that he wasn't under investigation, yet he wouldn't tell the public that.